from the studios of the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg. Welcome to Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Sylveria Jacobs.
Welcome back to Prime Minister Talks. I am Sylveria Jacobs, and today I have a very special guest, our Honorable Minister of Justice, dear friend, Mrs. Anna E. Richardson. Welcome to Prime Minister Talks.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Nice to be back.
Always a pleasure to have you. I know I had to beg you to take this post. The Ministry of Justice is seen as one of the heavier ministries, which it is.
It surely
and I must
is.
say, after much reflection, that you did take up the mantle. And 2 years in, you have garnered some successes, most recently with, in December, finalizing the trajectory to get the function books ratified.
Yes.
Tell the viewers a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. So just, circling back to taking on a heavy ministry, I must say that thanks again for the opportunity to do this. I have actually fallen so in love with this ministry. And so my passion and dedication to it continues to be one that makes me get up every day and push forward for the ministry, the personnel, and the country at large. Indeed, we have been successful with your contributions as well in supporting this, in getting the function book complete. Function book has been an item that has been on hold or stagnated or, certain attempts, but it has been a challenge. And it was even a challenge, as you know, to get it to completion. But indeed, we were successful in getting the LBHAM and the book itself through the trajectory of reviews within YZN-Way, PNO, the Council of Ministers, Council of Advice, CCSU, working with the unions, and even the Progress Committee had their way in on it, Law Enforcement Council, so many different platforms and bodies that are required to be able to ensure that what we establish is meeting higher kingdom laws, Rex Posities, you name it. It's a whole
Complicated.
Yeah, it's very complex, and there are a lot of opinions that also play a role into that. There's a lot of emotions that play a role into it because you have persons who have contributed in certain capacities for quite a number of years, and they want to ensure that whether it is them or their colleagues is going to be fairly recognized and compensated along the way. So. Successful in getting the descriptions done. I must recognize the company of Balance out of Curacao as well that assisted there in terms of the descriptions. Being able to ensure that the LBHAM had the correct legal jargon to ensure that it is sound was quite an experience as well, but we were successful in doing that. And yes, on December 20th, 2021. Yes, December 20th, 2021, along with His Excellency Dr. Eugene Holliday, Dr. Randus Eugene Holliday, we were able to secure signing of the LBHAM establishing the function book. And it went on to the Ombudsman. So
We can touch on that in a while, but I think it's important for you to mention why it's important for the Ministry of Justice.
Oh, absolutely. So the whole establishment of a function book regulates and gives the description, as I mentioned earlier, of roles, responsibilities, tasks, salary scales, etc. It breaks down what my position is and what my function, what my duties are, etc. And then giving me opportunity to be able to grow in the institution. So that is the relevance of a function book.
Correct. And there are a couple of other things that still need to be regulated as well. Yes.
So the function book is going to see some more updates to it. So for example, the function book couples with the LEOL. And the LEOL in itself is the whole formation structure of the Ministry of Justice. What governs the Ministry of Justice? There are organizations that fall under that. All of them including departments such as the Court of Guardianship, Miss Lally Center, SEI Bay, or our Probation Foundation. And then lastly, the incorporation of our Justice Academy, but we're now changing the name to the Law Enforcement Institute of St. Martin. Curacao has theirs, Aruba has theirs, St. Martin should have, right? So the amendments to the LEOL requires as well a legislative process.
Right.
So those have been done by our legal team, but now they will go to the Yazet and Way for review, come to the Council of Ministers, go on to the Council of Advice. Those will also now go on differently to Parliament, right? So the function book itself as an LB-HUM was not required to go to Parliament. It was significant or sufficient on the level of the governor.
Right.
That has been done. Now the addition or updates to the LEOL goes to Parliament. So we look forward to a positive response from the Parliament of St. Martin in terms of that update and incorporation. Thereafter, or next to that, you also have Rexposities. So KPSM has, or in English, the law, police law, that governs things like their ranks, pension plans, overtime, all of these things that are significant in the line of service that our officers are providing. But the Ministry of Justice is not just with regards to the police. You have prison guards, you have customs, immigration, national detectives. This ministry is a very large one, right? 9 departments large, and it therefore cannot use a cookie cutter approach as we have been referring to it, because the different services are different services.
Exactly.
They provide different services.
Exactly.
So we have to kind of tailor make requirements and supportive laws to be able to recognize each in its own respective service. So we're busy with those right now. Most recently, I did ask our legal team to touch base again with the unions of, let's say, NAPB and ABVO, specifically representing KPSM, to ensure that the details that are within the most recent draft of the Rexpositie meets what is agreed upon. Because, let's be honest, we have heard a lot of this isn't, or we don't know about that, and this. I don't want to have that be the case with the Rexpositie. As such, within the recent days, we're trying to get assent as well signed by the unions, confirming that the draft Rexpositie we will present to Yazet and Way within the coming days is the one we want to see move forward.
I know if you're watching, you're hearing our minister speak a lot of Dutch.
Sorry.
I'm very impressed, actually. Indeed, the LEOL she's mentioning is the organizational decree for the KPSM, and there's also a greater one for government, and nothing can be added to the service until it is legally bound.
Established,
so she was able to do the LB-HUM, which is the National Decree with General Measures, based on the fact that the other parts were already in the LEO.
Correct.
That is the explanation. This program is all about educating you, and so stay tuned. We will be right back.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Sylvia Jacobs.
St. Martin, listen up. The Civil Registry Department has taken 7 services online. That's right, you can now request a family tree, local address change, migration deregistration, a registration form, request for existing certificates, transfer your driver's license, and a driver's license declaration, all online. Go to services.stmartingov.org/civil registry and easily complete a request form for the service that you need. You can also pay for the services online using a major credit card or debit card and receive certain final products digitally as well. No traffic jams, no waiting in lines, and if you're on island or off, you now have full digital access to 7 civil registry services at services.stmartingov.org/civil registry. That's services.stmartingov.org/civil registry. For more information, call 542-0652. Now go online and request your service form today.
Are you planning on getting married? When getting married on St. Martin, you have to submit a marriage intention by the Civil Registry. This can only be done by two persons of opposite sex. This request, whether in person or in writing, must be submitted at least 14 days before the date of marriage. During that time, the civil registry verifies the marital status of each individual getting married. If the marriage does not take place within 1 year, the marriage intention process has to start over. The following documents needed are a detailed birth certificate. Unmarried persons must present a declaration of marital status. If widow, a death certificate. If divorce, a divorce certificate. All documents must be originals, not older than 3 years, and may require legalization. Additional information and documents needed are passport copies of the bride, groom, and witnesses. All foreign documents must be translated in Dutch or English. The price for contracting marriage depends on your choice of location and day of the ceremony, whether at the marriage hall or away from the marriage hall, and will be minimum 315 guilders or maximum 725 guilders. Non-Dutch nationals requires attending an interview at the immigration department. Marriages will be performed after all documents are found correct by the civil registrar. The law separates church from state. Witnesses are minimum 2 and maximum 6. Please contact the Civil Registry Department for more information before planning your marriage.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Sylvia Jacobs.
Welcome back to Prime Minister Talks. In this episode, we're having a very riveting discussion with our Minister of Justice, the Honorable Anna Richardson, who has given you a bit of an insight into her process in getting the function books finalized, those that were regulated within the current LEO. She also mentioned that she's adjusting the LEO with a couple of departments, including what was known as the Justice Academy in the past. So we are very, very much looking forward to that. I've been seeing and hearing a lot of accolades toward this minister in terms of what we're able to achieve. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we are beyond the 2 years as well. And you now have the ability to have the necessary continuity.
Yes.
So congratulations in that regard.
Thank you.
And you did mention also, Minister, that on December 20th, 2021, most recently, you signed off with His Excellency, the LBHUM, so the National Decree of General Measures, and that it was then sent subsequently to the Ombudsman.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about where it is right now.
Yes. So on December 29th, we did share the function book and all the necessary pieces with the Ombudsman for her review, of which she had 6 weeks. So technically, we would have or should have heard between then and now from the Ombudsman and February 9th. But actually, yesterday, we received the report from the Ombudsman giving her points of views with regards to the function book and the LBHAM spoken of. Ultimately, she's not going to contest the law. There are some aspects of it that the Ombudsman has pointed out that she wishes went differently in terms of the process. Let's say being sure that we followed all the processes, which the Ministry of Justice did. So, you know how I operate. I'm very meticulous in ensuring that, and as I had stated from before, I'm going to do this according to what law and policy says. So
I must say, I'm going to interrupt you. You went beyond. You actually went beyond what was needed, and maybe because we went so quickly in segment one of the processes is the consultation with the CCSU, which was had with the initial draft. Then you'd made changes after it went to the Council of Advice. You made changes and you consulted them again.
Yes.
So legally, you did what had to be done.
I don't even know if we can sum it up in a consultation format, because
it was more than that.
This was the unions literally sitting with my legal team day in, day out, weeks, at least the minimum 2 months in drafting and updating and fixing and putting and ensuring that the draft function book that was signed off on met all expectations, requirements, as I mentioned before, thinking of their colleagues as well as to, if I'm already functioning in this position, where do I have opportunity for growth? Also making sure that with the monitoring of the progress committee, we were meeting all higher laws, etc. So the unions were very much so involved with it, to the point where even with submitting the proposal or proposed function book to the CCSU, it was indicated to the minister, because you gave us the opportunity to work on developing this function book, we don't even see it necessary to sit an additional 6 weeks on the CCSU platform. Nevertheless, the CCSU...
And that also included the UPFO.
Yes, all of them, because indeed ABVO is a part of the CCSU and APB is not, because they don't have apparently the size and membership to be able to, but thanks to, let's say, the platform of WICSU, giving them an opportunity to be a part of that, all the unions were a part of this, right? And I'm grateful for that.
And I'm glad we can put that to rest.
Yes, I'm grateful for that.
This formed part of the Ombudsman query as well?
Well, yes, because the Ombudsman wanted to, I guess, see that the assent that was signed on, let's say, maybe the letterhead of the CCSU, something of that sort, but the assent was actually signed with not just the individual unions, but on the platform that they confirmed we worked on this together with the legal team of the minister. Okay. And we are content, according to the assent, with what we have put together, right? So nevertheless, it was provided to the CCSU on the October 22nd, October 25th, the chairman of the CCSU confirmed receipt of, and I believe that response would have been received somewhere around December 6th, but it is a case that's, that particular confirmation never came from the CCSU particularly. But there's no reason for us by law to hold it back. Yes. And we wouldn't want to hold something so dire back. So comfortable with the fact that the unions who makes up the body as well of the CCSU signed the assent. It was carried on and ultimately signed on December 20th, right? Okay. But then with the Ombudsman as well, she, as part of good governance, expressed that she would have preferred if it had been done on the CCSU platform. Totally understandable, but as minister, I am content with the fact that I have all documentation to confirm that I followed all the steps that were necessary.
That's great to know. Before we wrap up this segment, I don't know if you can, in a quick synopsis, mention what you're currently working on for the first quarter of 2022, or if it's going to take too long.
Yeah, I was about to say, that list is long.
Okay, so we're not going to go into
I can give a few.
In this segment, what we'll do is we'll cut this segment short, and then we'll have more time to flow properly in the next segment.
Okay.
So stay with us as we get more riveting information regarding the development of the Ministry of Justice.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Sylvaria Jacobs.
So, you want to join the Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard? You obviously got very high standards. Now is the time to get started. Every Saturday, starting January 22nd until February 19th, get down to the Walter Plant Square in Phillipsburg at 8 a.m. sharp for the Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard pre-test to see if you have what it takes to be a Coast Guard officer. For more information, visit kustwacht.org. The Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard, St. Maarten. Strong together.
The government of St. Martin would like to announce the 2022 procedures for paying vehicle tax. Starting January 1st, 2022, along with the in-person payments and bank transfers, it is now possible for the public to pay online with a credit and/or debit card. Visit services.stmartingov.org for more information on electronic bank transfers. The business community and other organizations are requested to submit a copy of the following documents for their vehicle fleet and/or employees. 1. A valid insurance card. 2. A valid inspection card. And 3. Proof of online payment. The above documents can be dropped off in the receiver's drop box located at the Government Administration Building. Please ensure your documents are sealed in an envelope with your company and/or organization name and contact number. This option is also possible for independent groups such as family members, friends, etc., who wish to receive their number plates in bulk to avoid long lines. Please note this is only applicable for 6 persons or more. You will be contacted within 3 working days to pick up your receipts and number plates. For more information on rates and tariffs, please visit the government's website, services page, and the official Facebook page.
Prime Minister Talks with Honorable Prime Minister Sylvia Jacobs.
I'm Sylvia Jacobs, Prime Minister of St. Martin. You're watching Prime Minister Talks. In case you just joined us, we are having a discussion with the Minister of Justice, Anna Richardson. We've been talking about the function books, the trajectory to get there, including to where we are right now. And now we're going to go into the rest of the minister's objectives, especially those for this first quarter of 2022. So tell us a little bit about your goals for this first quarter.
Thank you, Prime Minister. So in getting the function book complete, which was priority number 1 for me since taking office, the list is long. But the prison is really a focus point for me now. We need to really get moving and get some traction happening. I know that there is discussions with UNOPS for them to take finally their visit to St. Martin to be able to assess what it is we have before us and how we can map the way forward. So I'm really looking forward to their arrival. One of the other things that I want to do on a personnel level is communication has been a part of our challenge, I believe, for quite a while. And so I think the dissemination of a monthly newsletter to be able to ensure that each and every one of the staff receives the information as it is developing within the ministry, within the cabinet, and beyond those. So they're well aware and abreast as to what's happening. I think that has been a shortcoming for a while. So I'm putting some more emphasis into that with the PR team. Other aspects of that is on the ground, we have our course coordinator finally. I've mentioned about the course coordinator being here to execute evaluations for each member of staff of justice, especially our frontliners, but not forgetting those who provide support in terms of what is your status in your certification? Exactly what is it you need to be able to ensure you can advance in the way that you would like to? Yes. Personal development, there you go. I'm happy to announce that our customs department is currently undergoing a course with a number of custom officers there to bring forth their certification. So I'm expressing to all departments, I'm looking forward to graduations. I've done at least 2 in this tenure with CAPSM, and another one is in the making. I'd like to see that happening for the other departments as well. Coast Guard has a recruitment drive underway as well. A lot of persons would be looking forward to wanting to join Coast Guard, as well as immigration. We see a lot of activities now where immigration is really coming out and executing their legislative or their legal responsibility in terms of managing our borders, managing our population. And I've been getting contacts of persons who are seeking to join our immigration force as well. So, upleadings there is also necessary, working with the KMAR. So I'm really an education-based type of person, and I really want to see this ministry transform into an education-based ministry, from inmates to employees, everybody being able to graduate to some level of advancement in life. Do I have time for more? Because I have a lot. The development of our law enforcement institute in the Coal Bay area, that comes with a shooting range, it comes with gymnasium, it comes with a mini forensic lab, it comes with classrooms, administration offices. It's quite a development that I hope to be able to get underway by the latter part of this year, early 2023. As well as substations within our communities. One of them that we're looking at already is in the St. Peter's area. And I think it is essential to start with that one, even though other neighborhoods need it just as well. But in St. Peter's, we also have a very high population of students. I'm really grateful to see that with the presence of our CAPSM members, there has been a decline in the number of school fights that has been or was taking place in the past, making that area a no loitering zone, having police presence to help with the traffic in the morning. Thanks to CAPSM Traffic Department for the hard work they do. Rain, sun, everything, they're there. Thank you so much. But also wanting to have that presence after school so that the kids are not engaging into these really destructive and damaging behavior towards one another, towards adults in the schools, teachers, etc. The school is an environment that is for learning, and it should be a safe and healthy one. So I focus a lot there too. I have another project coming out that I won't touch on yet, but again, still focusing on the safety and security of our youth. We have a recruitment guide that's being developed for the Ministry of Justice, and the recruitment guide is indeed a literature-based document that can be shared amongst our youth to entice their interest in wanting to join the Ministry of Justice. So if I want to join the prison as a guard, customs department, if I want to grow into Lancestershire, what does it take? What must I have? What is the process? So I'm getting that developed into a book that we would then, through Career Day, etc., visit schools and share these books out with the interest of getting our youth to want to be a part of law enforcement. And you go even higher, becoming a prosecutor, becoming a judge, any aspect within law enforcement or justice. I want to be able to give guidance on that area as well.
I mean, it's definitely a mouthful. I could just sit and listen. I think anybody tuning in would be like, oh, this is the Anna Richardson show, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I can sit and be quiet and just listen because definitely I can see the passion with which you have taken up this ministry, and I'm completely in awe of what you've been able to achieve. I know you also recently had conferences within the ministry.
Yes.
And how was that experience for you? In fact, how was your entire journey?
I'm actually getting goosebumps with you mentioning the conference. It's funny. The department heads of the Ministry of Justice last year, I held the first ever Justice Conference, and all of the departments were elated about that opportunity. Why? Many of our agencies have been operating in a very silo environment, and I can understand why. With all honesty, with the ups and downs of our governments, a lot of them have had to just take the mantle of running their operation according to what service level they have to provide to St. Martin, right? But the Ministry of Justice should be a united, right, a cohesive approach. And so that unity is what I'm trying to fuse. And just with the introduction and platform of us being in the same room and each agency getting an opportunity to present who we are and what we do was eye-opening to many, which was surprising to me, right? And we look forward to doing this again in this year, but expanding it a little bit more, inviting experts within the region or internationally to come in and talk about other ways that we can become a force to be reckoned with. That's my ultimate goal. I seek for the Ministry of Justice to become one that is just so great and so grand, and that the people of St. Martin and internationally can just respect us on that level. So we have more to come. And
I'm hearing that we have a lot of info that we can invite our Honorable Minister back for.
Thank you.
I really want to give you the time to, directly engage. Now I think you've given a lot of information. I look forward to that level of communication you're talking about internally also going out to the general public, because if you can imagine, if the ministry itself didn't quite comprehend all the other aspects within the ministry, there must be
indeed
a heightened communication to the public.
Absolutely,
so I encourage that as well.
Absolutely true.
And I ask you to take the last minute to engage with your ministry.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Prime Minister. First, I'd like to start off with, again, congratulating the Customs Department. This past Wednesday, January 26, 2022, the world celebrated International Customs Day, and we did a recognition opportunity on that date. By extension to that, I am just saying to the entire personnel of the Ministry of Justice, thank you for all that you do. I hope at this moment you can recognize that as your minister representing you, I am focused on what is necessary to be able to bring this ministry and your support to levels that has never been experienced before. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your dedication to St. Martin. And I'm asking you all to remain safe as well as the general public. We are still in a pandemic phasing out, but please stay safe, and thank you very much for all the opportunities granted. Thank you too, Prime Minister.
Thank you for being our guest here on Prime Minister Talks. We are having a nice role as we have started season 3. I must say that it is my pleasure and my honor to have you serve with me on the Council of Ministers.
Thank you.
And I ask the viewers and listeners of Prime Minister Talks to stay tuned to coming episodes where we will continue to update and educate you. Be safe. Until next time.